Good evening again, everybody. Um, Here at the rectory now. If you are a teacher or if you are able to reach out to any of our teachers, please do so. I'm hoping to share a word with them, and after this video is done, pass it along to our teachers, certainly at our school at St. Robert's, but any of the parishioners from our parish. So how did it get to be 8:30 already at night? I don't know. And why is it so cold outside? These are the big questions on my mind. But here it is, Friday evening. Probably all of our teachers, after a hard week of work, are at home, hopefully relaxing, maybe with a cold beverage. And here it is, almost at the end of Teacher Appreciation Week, and I finally am getting around to reaching out and thanking and honoring our teachers. But I wanted to take a moment and do that before the week ended, and this seemed like the best opportunity. So, we're blessed at our parish, at our school, to have amazing teachers, just a wonderful group of women and men through all the grades. And we're also blessed at our parish to have many parishioners who are great teachers, teaching in our public schools in the area, teaching at some of our Catholic schools. I know Mrs. Sue Kent at Holy Family comes to mind. I was there with her for many years, and when I was first ordained a priest, Mr. Matter, who used to teach at our St. Robert's School, who works at Powers, and there's many others. So thank you to all of our teachers. And I just wanted to take a moment, just think about each of the teachers here at our school, and just to honor each of you, and certainly to make the rest of our parish aware of the wonderful blessing they are to our children, to our families. So I got some notes here because otherwise I'd forget. It's such a big group. And so pardon me as I look down at some points that I just start with pre-K and go through 8th grade. But Mrs. Bushy, who is our pre-K teacher, I just honor her for her great joy and her warmth and the hope she brings. I am not in the classroom at every moment, and I don't want to say it goes without saying that all of our teachers excel in their teaching. They all bring different strengths there, I know, but just her joy, her warmth, and really her ability to bring hope into the room with her wherever she is. And right across the hall there, Mrs. Steinbeck with the kindergarten and the pre-K, and you know what I see so much, and this is true in other areas in our school, but I see such great cooperation with the two of them. And again, her joy as well, her creativity. I got to say, when I go into that part of the school, it's like it's just this burst of creativity. It's just, I'm always overwhelmed by what Mrs. Steinbeck and Mrs. Bushy bring to our children and able to bring out of them. But I just honor her for that. And Mrs. McAllister, our first grade teacher, new this year. And one of the things that's really struck me is just your commitment. You stepped in a need that we had, and that need grew from temporary to just being here the whole year. And just honor you for that, how important that is to our children, and the witness you give of just being present to them and that commitment. And you help them in a very real way know God's faithfulness and God's commitment to them. And so I honor you for that. And Mrs. Gross, our second grade teacher, just your great love for Jesus and your love for the children, and as well just trying to bring them deeper into the Eucharist. The many things to honor you for, certainly to do that on that crucial stage as they prepare for First Communion, as they prepare for celebrating the sacrament of confession, these two such important sacraments throughout our lives, and your own love for God, especially in the Eucharist, and your love for them. It just comes out day in, day out. So I honor you for that and the many other things. And Mrs. Klump, our third grade teacher, she's such wonderful kindness and gentleness and care that I've noticed. So what a wonderful thing that you bring to the children, to our school, the many things you do bring. Just honor you for that. Mrs. Strantham, our fourth grade teacher. I remember meeting you just a few days before your child. I've always been struck by your quiet strength, and that through that you bring a clarity and a focus. I think it comes in through the classroom from what I've seen, but it's a great attribute. I know Mr. Rabulski supporting and encouraging and championing all of our teachers, but how often he's been so impressed by what you bring to the class. So bravo, Mrs. Strantham. And our fifth grade teacher, Mrs. Reagan, if I can express this, what comes to mind is coolness. Not that in a bad way, but you seem to have a great ability to help these fifth graders. I don't know if every age there's an awkwardness, but certainly you start getting into these middle school years, there can be a new awkwardness to everything. And you seem to have that great ability to instill in the kids that they're important, that they're valued, there's a coolness there. So thank you for that, and bravo. And Mrs. Kelly, there's a pride, goodness, a commitment, a certain sense of, it seems to be really bringing a responsibility and an importance to everything that happens. And again, as well, I see that cooperation at play between Mrs. Kelly and Mrs. Reagan and their kids and the classrooms and the school itself. So thank you for that. Mrs. Koval, I was struck in our conversations and times I've been there with your passion for teaching and for the kids. And I got to tell you, so many times when I'm in the school and the seventh graders may be off doing something else, I'll step in the classrooms. I do go in the classroom sometimes when nobody's there, and you've got your little kind of Marian corner, and that witness to the faith certainly touches lives, including myself. And Mr. Pobosik, our seventh and eighth grade religion teacher, he has a reserved genius. Mr. Pobosik, you have a reserved genius, and this is in some of my interactions in other areas too, but you're so good at cutting through the confusion and bringing clarity to a situation. And as well, I honor you for your ability to really make God real and down to earth, and that our faith is something that's living and God is alive, and that this really kind of is meant to and really can touch and affect every part of our life, no matter how young or old we are. And so in that regard too, that your patient perseverance. Mrs. Daniels, honor you for your energy and your strength and your unsurpassable just drive and passion, and certainly that you bring that to the faith and your ability to connect the school and the faith and the parish at large. Ms. Turchi, our DRE, but also in charge of all the catechesis of the Good Shepherd in the school, and your joy and your strength, and just how infectious that is, and your love of God and your love for the kids and your love for the teachers and your love for what you're doing. It's infectious, and it's so important. Obviously, we're a Catholic school, and Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. He affects everything. And so thank you for helping bring that faith alive in our school, and also bridging the gap between our school and the rest of our parish, and really helping everyone to experience more and more that reality, that it's part of our parish. And then Miss Reinke, our art teacher. If you've ever been in our school, I wish everybody could go into our school for so many reasons. One of them is just the beauty that is full of our school, and Mrs. Reinke's ability that seems to bring creativity out of every person, every student there. It gives me hope. I feel like I have no artistic ability, but I think maybe if I was sitting in her class, I'd be able to draw or create something that was a little bit more than just a stick figure. But thank you for that. And Mrs. Rose, in charge of music and drama, and just honor you for your passion, your focus, and it seems to really be to your help to help the kids do what they couldn't do, to really excel, whether it's in music or drama, and it comes through obviously in the finished project. And I can see that that's your drive, your commitment to not settling for anything less than great, but trying to really bring that out of the students. Just honor all of our teachers, and in a particular way because of what you've been doing over the past few months and making such enormous changes and having to deal with enormous changes that affect not just your job, but your entire life, and affect not just part of the classroom and part of teaching, but everything. And it's affecting every student and every parent, and it's unprecedented. And you guys have done marvelous work. So bravo, and thank you for that. And so, not least, Mr. Robolski, and I had to throw in Mrs. Bobolik as well. Huh? And I know she's not a teacher, but I'll get to her. But Mr. Robolski, our principal, on you for your leadership, and that's shown through in these incredibly challenging and unprecedented days, and being able to help lead our teachers and our families and our school to online distant learning, and to do it well, and to help lead through all of the challenges and the difficulties and the frustrations, and championing and defending and going to battle in support of your teachers and helping them. I saw it time and again, and as well your presence, being present every day for the children, for the parents, the communication, again, the leadership there, and for all the ways as well that you've been really working as as a leadership of the parish, trying to bridge that gap, trying to find ways to really help the school to recognize the rest of the parish, and the rest of the parish the school, and that we're one. We have one mission and one vision, and we're about the same thing. And again, we're blessed to have such a parish that loves its school so much, and you're a big part of that. And so finally, Mrs. Boblik, I know maybe officially not a teacher, and I wasn't even able to cover all the other teachers like Mrs. Parlow, but Mrs. Boblik, thank you for your love for our school, and for being that support, that constant, tireless support for all of our teachers and our parents. And early on in our conversations, it struck me, I hope this is a good image. I think it's a good image, but you're like a mama bear, huh, who just is there fighting for her children, and that you see every single child in that school is yours. You have that love for them, and just a tireless support and dedication. So thank you as well. And for everyone else who is working behind the scenes in some way, certainly we honor them, but especially our teachers. So thank you, teachers. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for your sacrifice, for your dedication. Thank you for bringing Jesus and the faith alive as well, and trying to help our children grow in that relationship, and to see that everything in our lives is connected to God, and He's present, and He helps us, and that He's really the way for us to become fully alive. So God bless you on this Friday evening and into your weekend. I see there's a few able, Kate, Mrs. Gross, and Miss Turchi are out there. Hello, Hannah. Thanks for joining in. It's good to be with you, and everybody else who's out there. It's certainly, I know it's a little late, but we'll get a way to post this video, and I'm sure hopefully you can share it with the other teachers, and have Mr. Robolski share it too. But if you don't, if you're turning in, if you're not a teacher, if you're not part of our school, we're blessed. We're blessed to have an excellent school and awesome teachers, amazing teachers. I'm convinced that if every family could bring their kids in, and parents and kids could spend a day in our school, obviously it's not live right now, but if they could, every family would want to be there. So have a good night. I'm praying for you. Please pray for warm weather. It's getting ridiculously cold out there. It's not okay for May, but it'll warm up eventually. Good night, all.